Hello there, welcome to your long-awaited video. Sorry for the delay on that. Hopefully you've stayed upright since then. I'm going to show you a few different movements. Some of them will probably be similar to the stuff you have already. Some of them should be very manageable, others might be a little bit more advanced, so you can start with the ones that work for you and build it up from there. Everything will be better off to being done in bare feet, because then you get that proprioception, you get that feel for the ground, which will improve your balance. We're going to work on some movement, and we're also going to do some strength work. So strength work around your hips and your core will help for that balance as well. The first one is very simple. You can draw a line on the ground. I'm just using the line between my fake wood flooring here, and I'm going to try to walk on the line. So just standing on the line, one step in front of the other, trying to make sure my upper body isn't moving too much. Just making sure that I'm staying on the line throughout. Spend as much time as you want at that. If you find yourself wobbling, try to reset, and it should just really work on building that balance. Second one, standing on one foot sounds easier than it actually is. So putting your weight into one leg. Think about your foot as a tripod, that your big toe, your baby toe and your heel are all pushing through the ground as you lift that other leg, tentatively at first, and just getting it out of the way and see how long you can do that. Keep adjusting. If you feel like you're wobbling out the outside, shift that weight inside. And if you need to at the start, have a little bit of help by holding on to something. If you get the hang of that, then close your eyes, see what happens. Maybe have something to hold on to when you're doing that, definitely. No specific amount of time or anything on that, just as much as you can on that, and maybe try to build it up as you go along. I have the cone transfer. So this is just getting a nice light object. The higher and the lighter the object, the better, the easier at the start. You're going to have that in front of you, and this would kind of advance on from the standing on one leg thing. So you're going to get your weight into one leg. You're going to go down to pick up the cone or whatever you've got, move it into the other hand and move it across. Doing all this on one leg. Again, have something beside you in case you start wobbling. You can make this harder by reaching further across, keeping it in one hand and doing all that moving across like that, and just playing around with that basically. The shorter the object is, the further down you're going to have to lean, so it's going to be harder, and the heavier also is going to make it more challenging. So play around with that. You'll be surprised how much better you get at that as you go along. Single leg hinge and single leg squat. So single leg hinge, a hinge is this kind of movement. It's like when you're picking something up off the ground, you send your hips back. I'm going to do that on one leg. So again, shifting my weight into one leg, getting my other leg out of the way, and then I'm going to send this left hip back like so. I'm still doing the tripod with my foot and trying to maintain that as I move. Easier to see this from the side. So my weight's in my left foot, my right foot comes out of the way, unlock my knees, send my hip back as far as I can, like so. So all the movement is coming in this left hip, and the other one is just out of the way. You can also practice this by keeping your toe of the right foot on the ground, pushing that hip back, and just really building that strength in the standing leg, which will improve your balance. Another version of that's where you're going to build these muscles here a little bit more, would be a single leg squat. So get in a chair, nice high chair, get one leg kind of out of the way, and you're going to sit down onto the chair. If you get the hang of it, then you're going to get that leg fully out of the way and standing and out of the chair. You will see that from here and stand. If I push my way through my standing foot in order to get up, that is going to be the key in making this a smooth movement. So leg comes out of the way, sit down, push through the foot, and I'm standing. The lower the seat on that, the harder it's going to be. And then we're going to do some strength work. We're not doing single leg work, we're just doing strength work. So there's two different ones I'm going to show you, actually three. One would be a glute bridge. So you're lying down on the ground. You are going to lie flat, push through your feet, and you're going to tuck your pelvis backwards and lift up your hips. So from here, tuck and lift, pause for a second, and back down. Like the other movements, the more you push through your feet, the easier this is going to be, or the more effective. If you can, just pause at the top a little bit as well, and really feel all that area around the hip firing up. Another one on the ground is a side bridge. So you get your elbow on the ground, you get your knees on the ground, and then you lift up your hips and you squeeze your bum. So from here, I'm really feeling this area here building up. and we will do that on both sides. So for that one, if you can hold for 20 seconds, you're going well, and you can keep increasing that as you go. The last one then, give this one a try. We're going to do some squats. You can do this to a seat if you want. The full version would be toes are turned out, and you're going to push your knees out on the way down and on the way back up, and see if you can get your hips nice and low parallel. Push through your feet as well. Let's see if we can do like 10 reps of those or whatever. If you find that really hard, let's work on doing the same thing to a chair. This chair is probably a little bit high for me, but just try to go a little bit lower than that. When you're doing those sets of 10, maybe 3 or 4 rounds would be lovely, and you could mix them in with the glute bridges and the side bridges. So if you need me to send on the written version of that, absolutely do, but otherwise following on the video would be a great idea. Enjoy!